Hello everyone, today we're gonna take a look at new Sfes Koakuma, and these are units which looks really good. Like her kit, like her elements and stuff like that, and her skills, they look really strong, but it might not translate to being very good in the current meta just because he has a lot of metal, and metal isn't very prevalent in the stages and like the EX stages and all that we have currently, but that might change in the future. So he does have luck removal, and this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so she's kind of like Otohime and kind of like a discount beats Yukari, you know. Yeah, beats Yukari. But and if you compare her to like someone like Flan's kit doesn't look like it's good, but it doesn't like look particularly strong. But because the stages and it's kind of like just happen to like fit her, and she does do like tons of damage with her last word, and she's quite self-sufficient, she performs very well in the meta. So it remains to be seen whether Koakuma will perform well. That will depend on the stages that come out in the future. But she does look really strong, especially for an ultra fast unit. Koakuma is kind of like a discounted version of Beat Yukari. She is only an Ultra Festival, not an Epic unit, so she is easier to get and only needs Divine Dolls instead of Epic Dolls. I say that because, like, as I mentioned, she has that lock removal, like Yukari has. She only has one of it, like on a 4-turn cooldown, instead of Yukari's double lock removal, which is what she's most known for. So depending on the states, like sometimes you might need 2 lock removals. But she is able to dispel her own on her spell card, Dispel Bind on herself, so that means she can get around skill lock. If Yukari is skill locked, then she can't like remove the locks because a lot removals on her skills. So that's one thing. And a lot of her kit actually looks quite a bit like Beats Yukari's. So she does have some supports. She has party-wide barrier restoration, and of course he has like different elements, right? He has moon and metal instead of sun and water. So let's go on and take a look at her breaks. As I mentioned, she has epic fast elements. What I mean is like a full elemental spell cards and with like 2 different elements, as well as a single element last word. So in this case, metal, which there's basically like 0 metal weak stages in the current like EX stages right now, but that might change in the future. So that's basically E-Fest elements, and this is quite significant because many of the units that we've had so far, like Mage or Petroli, it's released right next to Koakuma, like they have like rainbow elements, which is not great for breaking. So this is actually like quite strong in terms of breaking. And she has this fire incineration, right? So fire normally breaks, and if you break her, which means 5-star awakening instead of 1 star, she does 4 burn instead of 1 burn. So she inflicts 4 burn to a single target and breaks those 4 burns. So if you're not immune to burn, you're getting 4 barriers broken regardless of your elemental weakness. And she can inflict 2 more burn to all targets with the skill, so she can break 6 burn to a single target, so basically any target. This is kind of like Beat Yukari, who can inflict freeze, but this is only 3 freeze at max awakening. And so she kinda has better anomaly breaks. Yeah, she does have better anomaly breaks than Beat Yukari. Of course, this burn is also significant because burn reduces enemy yin defense, so that's something to think about. Even if you don't break the burn, it's a debuff essentially on the enemies. So that's her breaking potential, like very strong, not on par with stuff like Blue Moo, who has like AoE paralyzed breaks, but definitely looks to be better than Beat Yukari. And if you compare it to Hekatia, yeah, Hekatia actually gets like pretty good AoE freeze break, so she inflicts 3 freeze and she can break it with her card and inflicts like 1 more freeze, so that's quite good in terms of AoE anomaly breaks. But I mean Hekatia, yeah, but Hekatia gets like a mixed last word, which is not ideal. And one last thing I should mention is that she does have all targeting burn and freeze breaks on her focus shot. So there's like a bunch of issues with this, like accuracy and like that your shots go after enemies, or they tend to go after enemies, but she does have that ability to break AoE burn as well as freeze if that is required. But again, this might not, like, this is not that relevant because it's on a shot. So now let's look at her team, like her buffs, as well as like team support, right? Okay, so of course 2 party barriers is very strong. This burn acts as a debuff, which I mentioned earlier, so that's pretty strong. And this skill is quite spectacular. So permanents, like 3 turn cooldown, 3 turns of buffs, so that's permanents, yang attack and yin attack buffs to the whole party, as well as 0.5 spirit power every 3 turns. This is kind of an insane skill, like insane support skill. We compare it to like Beat Yukari's skill. Of course it's more yang focused, but like it sort of has like 1 turn of downtime, right? It's 4 turns of skills buffs and then like 1 turn of cooldown, so it's 5 turns cooldown and 4 turns buffs. This one has like no downtime, 3 turns of buffs and 3 turns cooldown, so this is really strong skill. On her spell card, she does get party-wide yang and yin defense, so that will help characters with higher scaling, which means that the damage increase scales based on your defense as well as your attack. So you deal more damage with more defense, basically. This is 1 level at 1 star and 2 levels at 5 stars, which is max awakening. So to summarize her team support, party-wide barriers, yang and yin attack up, party-wide spirit power on a 3 turn cooldown, which is quite notable. Bind removal, so all this is quite rare, like party-wide barriers, P up, as well as bind removal. So there's quite a lot of party support, as well as this yang and yin defense. So what about downsides? So accuracy is kind of a problem for her. She doesn't have party-wide accuracy. She has accuracy on the bullet line, so this is 1 accuracy for 3 turns on this spell card and on her last word as well. So it's not quite enough 1 accuracy. You want to have 2 accuracy. You have perfect accuracy, but her lines all have 80% accuracy, so a base accuracy. So if she only has 1 accuracy, she might get by sometimes. Like it might be okay. 1 accuracy buffs it from base 80 to 94%. So with like 3 bullets at 94% accuracy, you're not that likely to miss the entire bullet line. So should still be okay usually. But yeah, so accuracy is like a slight issue for her. And in terms of other self buffs, she does have Genshoku Killer here, so she wants crit attack, but she has 0 crit attack in all her kit, right? And she has hard and slice scaling, so which means that agility and yin defense will boost her damage. She does have yin defense here, as well as on her graze, but she doesn't have any agility. So basically what I'm saying is that to reach her full damage potential, she needs crit attack as well as agility from somewhere. More important, crit attack is most important. Agility is like not that. The crit attack is more important than agility in this case. So, which means that she basically has a bunch of party buffs, but she wants to pair up with someone who can give her a little bit of accuracy, as well as some more yin attack, some crit attack, and maybe some agility as well. And she also inflicts burn, so she will pair well with somebody that can break burn. So she might pair well with someone like Petcherly, Scarlet Petcherly, who can give her some accuracy, a little bit of accuracy. Over here, party accuracy. She can break burn barriers on all targets, which goes really well with her ability to inflict burn. And she also grants Petcherly a little bit of spirit power, so Petcherly can reach 3 spirit power on turn 1. You might also pair well with this Petcherly, who covers her accuracy as well, and they each give each other spirit power, so they can both reach 3 power on turn 1. And mainly because of all the anomalies that they inflict, so they both inflict a bunch of burn, which can be broken with Koakuma's solo targeting spell card, or in a pinch, it's also possible to break it with this all targeting focus shot, which might sometimes be useful. But because the shot, it might not be super good, because you can't you can't put like story cards on it and all that. And it goes after enemies, and Koakuma actually inflicts a bunch of freeze as well on this card. So there's 1 freeze here and 1 freeze here, which Petcherly can break quite nicely with this spell card that she has. She will also pair well with Blue Moo, so Blue Moo does give party accuracy and crit attack, so she does cover her lack of crit attack, which is quite important for her damage. Blue Moo does buff agility, yin defense as well on her spell cards, and very nicely, Blue Moon breaks AoE burn. So on this card, Blue Moon breaks burn on all her cards, but here, for example, Petroli can inflict burn and Blue Moon can break it. So there's some quite nice synergy here. And Koakuma also, of course, buffs Yin attack, which is something that Blue Moon sometimes struggles with because she relies on her barriers for crit or Yin attack mostly, and in a longer fight, she might have grazed away those barriers. It will also pair well with Hunter x Hunter Flan, so again, Flan has party accuracy and a bit one-turn crit attack, and they each will give each other spirit power, and which means they'll both hit 3 power on turn 1. These yin or these burn barriers will debuff yin, which is quite nice for both of them, and she does have yin attack, which is good for Flan. And so Flan also inflicts a bunch of poison on freeze actually to target. The freeze on her skill, and as well as on this card as post spell card effect, which Koakuma can break. So this card actually breaks burn, freeze, and poison. So also I hope you guys can kind of see like the type of friends that Koakuma might pair well with, so that they kind of like round off each other's weaknesses, and as well as provide like as well as benefit from each other's anomaly, inflicting and breaking. I actually pulled 2 Koakumas in like 20 pulls, so I'm going to talk a bit about her low 5 spirit point cost potential. So 5 cost means like level 70 and no limit break, so you like save spirit points per battle essentially, and obviously she can farm events like Moon or Metal Week, so easily farm those in 2 turns by full breaking them. Her spell animations are quite fast, which is nice, but a lot of units can cheaply farm events anyway. But I think she will be useful as a 5 spirit point cost unit in like harder stages, like EX stages maybe, because she has that party-wide luck removal. Here you can see Butler supporting Koichi to farm this card at 13 spirit point cost because of that nice luck removal that she has, as well as the like support like Yin attack up. This is actually the cheapest farming comp for the stage so far without Beats Yukari, who can solo it at 8 spirit point cost. So if you do have 2 copies of her, you might want to keep both copies to make one max limit break and one to not limit break, so that you can have and like the 5p copy might be useful for stuff like this, as well as farming events, of course. So that was Koakuma, and she looks very strong. We'll see how well she performs based on mainly based on how much metal we get in the next few EX stages. Thank you for watching, and if you have made it this far,
subscribe.
Thank you guys for watching today, and we hope to see you soon.